him at Augusta. There's so many demons he has at that golf course that even when he had the bounce, he had trouble overcoming that specific golf course. Because I will say this, like everybody thinks, like they try to go revisionist history a lot with Rory because he had the absolute meltdown in 2010 or whatever it was when he shot 40 on the front. Like he bounced back and won a major that year. Like he won his first major still after that season. So it's just something about Augusta that you would think would be great for him because he can draw the golf ball. And as a righty, drawing the golf ball around that place should work. But for whatever reason, it hasn't worked out for him there.
You know, we've watched him fold in big pressure moments last season, most notably at Pinehurst #2. When I watched him play that playoff, now granted it's against J.J. Spawn, who's had a great season, but he's not on the level of Rory McIlroy. So I think Rory just clearly wanted to show I'm the best player in the world.
I think we all knew it was going to happen in that playoff. If that playoff would have been able to be played on Sunday, I would have given JJ a puncher's. I think I'd give him a puncher's chance.
Because Rory misses the opportunity on 18, and
the fact that you're sleeping on it, like, kind of played out the way everybody thought.
When Rory spent an entire night thinking about his tee shot on 16,
nah, you're done. You're cooked.
And he hit that tee shot on 16. I said, he's different this year.
Yep.
He's got a little extra swagger to him, and I mean, book it right now. I'll give you my Masters pick.
You're saying Rory's your Masters
one
episode
of season
1.
5.
You're saying Rory McIlroy's your Masters pick.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to go there yet.
Okay.
We'll see what he does at the Houston, which, by the way, again, Stephen Watson, new title, PGA Tour Lives. Stephen Watson can still find you on FanDuel's, Sports Network and doing all the stuff that you're going to be doing with the Bucks and the Brewers. But you get to add a little PGA Tour Live to the resume this year. You've got one tournament under your belt.
Yeah. My first official tournament with PGA Tour Live was the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches. And that was really fun. I mean, I'll fly down to the studio, PGA Tour Studios in Ponte Vedra Beach, which is pretty wild. Like a 3-minute walk from the backside of the studio is number 17 at Sawgrass.
Oh.
It's an unbelievable facility. It's been a great, start so far. And I've got the Texas Children's Houston Open this weekend. I've got the Zurich and a couple more later in the summer. So adding this to the Brewers and Bucks slate, I can't be more excited. In case you didn't know, I love golf. Love talking about golf, and to marry it with an opportunity to call golf on the PGA Tour, it's a dream come true, and then some. So, I'll be on the main feed and featured holes this upcoming weekend on ESPN Plus, which is the home of PGA Tour Live. If you are interested in watching both Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler, I'll have their coverage on Thursday and Friday mornings.
I do have to bring this up, though, because I feel like you got it out of the way right away. Now, usually when you're sitting in the studio doing what you typically have done with the Bucks, with the Brewers, it's pregame, it's halftime, it's postgame.
Yeah.
So the announcer jinx isn't really a thing.
Oh. You're bringing this up right out of the gates.
Well, I mean,
okay.
What else are we going to do?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're calling, this was Friday, right? This was Friday.
Sounds right.
Yeah, Friday of the Cognizant Classic at the Palm Beaches. And Charlie Hoffman steps up to the tee. You have one hole that you are covering at this time.
Yeah, we're sitting on 17, final hole of the Bear Trap.
Yeah, well, tough stretch, tough par 3. And what did you do?
Yeah, so this needs a little setup. So when you're sitting on a hole for several hours, you're trying to create conversation. And I look at Charlie Hoffman, and when I think Charlie Hoffman, I think day one at Augusta. Like, if there's the easiest bet in golf, this guy is
for like a 5-year really stretch. Well. Dude is going to shoot 68 and be on the front page.
Yeah, and my partner, my analyst alongside, has played with Charlie, and we're in commercial break coming out to Charlie, and he's like, "Oh, Hoffman, he's dialed in right now. He's like, I actually just talked to him. He's hitting the ball really well." So I come out of commercial break, and I look at his scorecard, and I go, "Charlie Hoffman's got a clean card today on the box at 17." And what does he do, Gabe?
He shanked it into somebody's backyard.
He shanked it straight right. I wasn't even saying, "Oh man, he's flushing it right now, Chris." All I said was he has a clean card. He had, I think at the time, he had 6 or 7 birdies.
This is my bad. I should have had the audio ready for this, but the the split second after contact where you go, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
oh no.
I went, oh no. He shanked it. Right onto somebody's backyard. And then we actually had to pause. Here, you'll like this. We had to pause because we had to call in our rules official.
Yeah.
To know if that was in bounds or not.
Correct.
Because he could have actually gotten there physically by walking around the tee box from the green on 16. And Charlie actually had to pause to say, can I play it? And then he was just laughing at himself. And it was like the uncomfortable laugh.
It's the only, like, we've all been there. I mean, unless it is a shank, like on 17 when you're about to shoot 100. Like, even then, like, there's only one thing to do after you hit a shank. It's laugh at yourself.
Yeah. I mean, but when you see somebody at that level.
Yeah. He
was like -7.
Yeah, like you said, he had a clean card at that golf course, which unfortunately isn't as hard as it used to be. They've taken some of the bite out of it. But to have a clean card and step up and just hit a dead shank.
Yeah, so that was my first viral moment on PGA Tour
so
Live.
they ruled he could not play.
It was OB.
Okay.
It was out of bounds
on
that side of the water. So yeah, he had to drop, and he made a heck of a 4, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that was pretty funny. We laughed about that one because, I checked Twitter and
it was everywhere. It was everywhere.
Like, classic announcers jinx.
But nobody, the fun part was, like, nobody tagged you in it necessarily, because I don't know who knew. I mean, again, it was your first tournament.
Yeah, I think it was a fried egg.
The fried egg is the first one who started it.
I mean, we were on featured whole stream on a Friday afternoon. You had to be deep into the well to be locked into our coverage at that point.
Yeah.
So there was a true golf sicko who watched that and goes, oh, this is too good. You got to clip that.
That's what the fried egg is for. There have been some interesting things. We talked about Rory. He had some really good quotes after he won at the Players. And somebody that is becoming increasingly easy to root for, Victor Hovland, who just won this past week at Innisbrook in the Valspar. We're going to talk a little bit about that mental side of the golf game. Yeah, you shank it, you laugh it off. But we'll talk a little bit about the mental side with some of the great quotes from those two coming up next on the tee.
Back to the course and on the tee with Gabe and Steven after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Can almost hear the grills coming out of hibernation.
Time to take off those covers, make those grocery lists, and oil that mitt. Opening day on ESPN Milwaukee is right around the corner. Sponsored by Carbliss, ready-to-drink cocktails. Tune in all day long on March 31st for Jen, Gabe, and Chewy live from the warning track at AmFam Field, and even catch the Brewers game right here on 94.5 ESPN starting at 1:10. It's opening day on ESPN Milwaukee, sponsored by Carbliss.
Hi, I'm David Gruber. When you've been seriously injured, you need the best team of professionals on your side. Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices to get the results you deserve. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and now is the time to take advantage of the summer membership at X Golf in Brookfield and X Golf in Mcllroy. Their summer memberships give you unlimited golf for up to 4 hours per day. Their par package covers just you for $250 for the entire summer, or their birdie package for $500 gives you no guest fees plus a 10% discount on food. Rainy days, too hot, maybe you only have an hour? Use the Sims at X Golf in Brookfield and Mcllroy. Check them out, xgolfbrookfield.com and xgolfmcllroy.com.
Hey football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets for the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone where you'll be taken care of like a first-round pick. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois. Age 21 years or older. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Being a Pella consultant means helping people build their dreams.
For Jenna, helping others find joy is so rewarding. It's why we love to do what we do.
I enjoy simplifying the process for the customer, taking the time to listen, and finding the right solution.
Randy understands that everyone's situation is different, so we don't just slap together cookie-cutter solutions.
Customers really appreciate just how prepared we are. All the samples, the videos, pictures.
Jake arrives at your free in-home consultation with pre-prepared materials to fully envision your dream Pella build.
We're with you from start to finish. You literally have a friend from beginning to end and beyond with your project.
Whether you're working with Ryan or another Pella consultant, we don't go away after the sale. We're ready with anything you may need before, during, and after installation. And right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% interest for up to 72 months. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. Hits 3/31/2025.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
You're listening to On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
We know golf can be hard.
Really hard.
So when the pros are talking about things that we can struggle with as, regular people that don't play professional golf for a living.
Mortals.
It catches my attention, and I think that despite Colin Morikawa doing what he did, after he played, I don't even know if he played poorly necessarily, just didn't make birdies coming down the stretch and let a tournament slip out of his grasp at the Arnold Palmer and skips the media part and then gets really defensive about it later, saying he doesn't owe anybody anything, despite,
doubled down.
Yeah. I find it interesting when, and again, it's easier to talk about after you've won the way Victor Hovland and Rory McIlroy did, but they had some really interesting stuff that they talked about, and Victor talked about it like even during the week before he had even won. But here is Rory talking about trying to block out negative thoughts and harness that positive energy that you have when you're on the golf course. And he was talking about this right after he won the Players in a playoff.
How do you drown out like the bad thoughts and replace them with the positive ones? And I just think you have to try really hard to make those positive thoughts just a little stronger and a little more powerful than the negative ones. We all get negative thoughts, but it's how do you deal with those, and how do you reframe and replace those with what you want to see and what you want to do. Because like even walking from the 16th green to the 17th tee today, I could see myself hitting it in the water, right? So it's something that will crosses your mind, and it's like, okay, well, how do I replace that thought with a better one and visualize and get myself into the moment? And I've practiced hard at that and definitely getting better at it.
So he talks about in that moment, despite him playing as well as he has this season. Like you just went over his numbers: 4 starts, worst ones, T17, 2 wins in signature events, obviously the biggest event as well that the PGA Tour puts on in the Players. And yet there he is thinking, oh, what if I hit it in the water as he's walking up to 17? And just trying to just go through, hey, here's how I deal with that. I mean, for people listening to that, again, easier said than done, but I feel that there is something freeing in me being an amateur hearing the guy who's playing the best out of anybody in the world right now saying, hey, sometimes those negative thoughts creep in for me too, and I've got to work hard at keeping them out.
It's relatable. It humanizes them. They're not robots. I mean, you're staring at 17 at Sawgrass. All you see is water.
Mm-hmm.
For the athletes that think that they're bigger than us by saying, I didn't see water or, whatever, like, that's a way that you can relate to Rory Mcllroy. Now, what separates him is his ability to get those thoughts out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you had an opportunity to see the graphic that was shared by Whoop. He wears the heart monitor, and on the 17 tee box, he was at 115 beats per minute. Putting on 17, he was at 57. Talk about somebody who can control their heart rate and nerves, and it's incredible what these premier golfers are able to do and psych themselves out of those negative thoughts and be able to, bounce back and rise above. Because any of us who have golfed, I don't care if you're a plus handicap or a 20, you've had rounds snowball on you because of what's happening in between your ears.
And then you have Viktor Hovland, who literally shot 80 at the Players, goes into Valspar, and he starts putting it together. Round after round after round, and about halfway through, here's what Viktor had to say about, again, Viktor's been somebody who's been struggling. He's worked with a bunch of different coaches. He has been searching for answers to kind of regain the form that he had a couple of years ago when he won the FedEx Cup. And he had a really good season and just hasn't been able to recapture that. So here is him halfway through the tournament talking about some of the struggles he's dealt with.
It sucks. You have an ability that you can almost sometimes take for granted. You just wake up every day and you stand over the ball and you just expect the ball to start in that direction and go that direction and end up somewhere close to the hole. And, then it starts to not do that. It's pretty frustrating, and you start thinking things you've never thought before. And this game becomes infinitely more challenging, and it's already really challenging. So it is really humbling, and, kind of handling those moments. I mean, I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned there. And
yeah, I mean, that's a guy who won the tournament this week. Talking about his struggles and how it just hasn't been going the way he wants it. And yet he's good enough that he can still somehow take not his A game and go out there and close it in a way. He had to chase down JT. And granted, JT gave him some help. But Hovland going out and making birdie on the first two holes on 16 and 17 of that snake pit that can be tough at Valspar and Innisbrook, that's really good stuff.
I feel like Viktor Hovland behind the mic is like Jordan Spieth with his club in his hands. You just got to ride the wave. You never know what he's going to say. You never know where he's going to take you. But it's incredible entertainment. And we are better as golf fans when you have that type of transparency from an athlete. Mm-hmm. The fact that we can ride those emotions now with Viktor in his final two rounds and know what he's thinking, how he's feeling, and how he's still not satisfied at the end of winning a championship. It's so hard to win on the PGA Tour. And granted, he's won a tour championship, but it is so hard to win multiple events.
Hasn't won since then. Until Valspar.
But this is what's relatable about Viktor Hovland. I read Rory, I read Scottie. You want to know his season? T36, T22.
Okay.
Cut, win. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And what else is amazing? Again, I just think of, and maybe it was because I was listening to a Shane Ryan podcast when I was coming in today. Shane Ryan writes for Golf Digest, does a podcast called Local Knowledge. And he wrote a really good piece about this whole thing. It's too complex for me just to kind of wrap it up as quickly. I just recommend you listening to it, or the podcast, or reading the piece that he wrote. But I just think about Colin Morikawa not speaking to media. I don't know anyone to anything, and just kind of having this entitlement and comparing that to what we just heard. No, man, this sucks. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where the ball's going. I think it's going this way. It's going that way. And I got to figure it out. And you might be somebody that's going, okay, well, I mean, he was really good in 2023. Why was he tinkering? Why would you tinker?
Yeah.
Well, he had an answer for that as well, and he's perplexed by your questions. Here's Viktor Hovland again.
Find it kind of weird that we're professional athletes and the people that are wanting to improve are somewhat looked at as, oh, he's a perfectionist. He's out on the perimeter searching too much. It's that's what we do. We're here to get better and we're here to win tournaments. So if you're not going to try to get better, what are you doing?
The more I hear Victor Hovland talk, the more I just want to root for the guy.
Yeah.
And here's the problem with that. It's a Ryder Cup year, Steven. It is a Ryder Cup
I thought you were
year.
going to say you have to buy some Jay Lindenberg clothes.
Oh, no, I didn't know. No,
Oh.
that's reserved for you.
Okay.
You're the Jay Lindenberg guy of the group.
You know, the shirt he won in, it's kind of clean. Wasn't
No, it was
super
really
loud.
clean. No, it was very clean. He has definitely transitioned from some of the louder things they made him wear to some more kind of toned down.
This is how it works in marketing. You make a statement with some loud prints, and then you start to draw it back. I think we're going to see it from Malbon here soon, too, with Jason Day. Super loud, get the attention of the people, and then reel it back and be like, oh, yeah, that's actually kind of fashionable.
But I really don't like that the people that I'm taking like the most insight out of the game from is right now the Europeans.
Yeah.
And the fact that like
they're dialed right now.
Yeah. Like they've got really good stuff going on there. Like Sepp Straka's been playing really good. Like and then on our team
we've got
JT couldn't close. Colin Morikawa and his dog's shoes are sitting there saying they don't owe anyone anything. And
I think we're going to see a little character arc switch from Mr. Morikawa after he gets a little talking to from his teammates and the tour about we need you. We need fans to want to like you and be around you and listen to you, and you do owe that to the fans. I think that that's such an important part of what has changed in the game over the last couple of years with the LIV PGA Tour fracture. Is that it became very ego-driven, and everybody's missing the point that these guys are entertainers, and we, the people, are paying to watch you play. And sponsors are paying a lot of money for you to be there and play and to relate to people. And it's the same reason, a lot of professional athletes are starting to realize, yeah, it is for the fans, isn't it? Like, that's why Bryson's so beloved. He's started a whole channel just for the fans.
But what Bryson, I'll give Bryson credit for this because he did like the whole, over his house hole-in-one challenge thing. During this offseason, and that's great. He has made everything essentially for him state-run media. Like he doesn't do a lot of outside media. You notice that? He doesn't want to do a lot of outside because what he's done with his YouTube channel, he's been able to keep everything inside and very carefully curate what his outside image is.
Of course.
But he's not doing a lot of...
He wants to profit off of his brand.
Correct. Which again, good for him. And again, I want to make this clear, good on him for kind of flipping that narrative about himself. But he's been very careful about what he has done. Again, did cool things after the U.S. Open last year, going out with Johnson Wagner and helping him with that shot. The thing with the U.S. Open trophy, all great. But he's also very careful about
it could all be very
media
calculated,
too. Yes, it is very calculated.
Who knows if it's actually genuine? That's a whole nother conversation. But at least he's trying, right? At least he's trying to do it for the fans. And that's where
his Break
Colin
59
Morikawa,
series is great. And
Morikawa comes across as such a likable guy. And he's just being competitive in the sense of I'm just saying.
Does he?
I didn't play well. I don't want to talk about it. But don't do it back-to-back weeks. Don't double down. Realize all right, you know what? It was a heat of the moment. I didn't want to talk. Here's how we can get better. The doubling down is the problem that I have with it because you're sticking your shoe in the mud now. And people can forget about you and your two major championships really quickly.
Yeah.
And
start making fun of your dog that you put shoes on him.
America
very
needs
quickly.
somebody to root for.
That's what I'm saying. JT, well, look, JT might be that guy. And JT's been playing some really good golf.
He's got his swagger back, too.
Although it was jarring to me when he was going down the stretch. I didn't realize that his last win was that PGA in 2022.
Yeah.
I was in Scotland for the first time when he won that.
Courtesy of Pereira.
Yeah, thank you. Shout out to Mito. But yeah, that was. We're still a ways away from the Ryder Cup.
What I'm saying knocking on the door. I mean, JT knocking on the door.
I'm not worried about JT.
Yeah,
I can put him in that category. I mean, he's not as good as Scottie, but JT's on the team. Not worried about him. Scottie's on the team. Not worried about him. Same thing with Colin. Ultimately, not worried about him, even if I don't find him very rootable. Guy that I can root for right now. But the rest of the team gets pretty thin pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, the Ryder Cup hero is really battling right now in Max Homa. Equipment change, and I don't know.
Swing change.
I don't know how many cuts
going
he's
through
even
a lot
made
of,
at this point.
No, I would be floored if he made the team. Floored.
And he was by far the best player.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm.
So
not particularly close. And I don't think he's particularly close of being on this. Like, how can you? I mean, he had that great finish almost a year ago at the Masters, and since then, it has not been good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for him. But he's not one of the people who had an outburst of anger this week at the Valspar. What's the most frustrated you've been on the golf course? We dive into that coming up next on the tee.
No ifs, ands, or puts. There's more On the Tee with Gabe and Steven coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
The Bucks are back on broadcast TV when they take on the Joker in the Mile High City. Don't miss a second of the action on WMLW The M. Let's go! Broadcast channel 49.1. Do they have enough to stop one of the top teams in the West? Or will the Joker have the last laugh? Go to WMLW.com for more info and how to watch. Bucks, Nuggets, Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. on WMLW The M.
Sports are for all. Join us on March 30th as we celebrate Bucks Pride Night, presented by the Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Come for the incredible Milwaukee Bucks basketball action. Stay for the celebration of the LGBTQIA+ community at Milwaukee Bucks Pride Night. For more information and to purchase tickets to catch the team in action on March 30th, visit bucks.com/impact.
Get more with the all-new Kia K4 at Ewald Kia of Oconomowoc. Just $188 a month. More standard features than Corolla. More legroom than Civic. More miles per gallon than Sentra. The new 2025 Kia K4 LXS with a whole lot more. $188 a month. Or buy it for $22,990 with Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Visit Ewald Kia of Oconomowoc. With approved credit, 24-month lease, $34.99 due at signing. Plus tax, tag title, see dealer for details. Expires month end.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Tax season is here, and what better way to reinvest in your home than with brand new energy-efficient windows? During Universal Windows Direct tax time sale, you can save big now. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Need 4? You only pay for 2. And here's something that will make your wallet even happier. Pay no interest until 2030. Schedule your free in-home estimate or visit universalwindowsdirect.com, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Sealbest White Elastomeric Roof Coating stops leaks and revives aged, flat, and metal roofs. It reflects the sun's heat to help you save on energy costs. And it's easy to apply with a brush, roller, or sprayer. Shop our entire selection of Sealbest products today on Menards.com. Plus, check our weekly flyer for all of the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Attention Milwaukee County residents. Are you prepared for the unexpected? From sudden storms to unforeseen emergencies, readiness is key. Take charge of your safety with a family emergency plan and an essential emergency kit. Stay informed and connected during emergencies. For tips and resources, visit us online or contact the Milwaukee County Office of Emergency Management. Prepare now, stay safe, and build a resilient community together. Because readiness starts with you.
This is On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
You know how much we love Aaron Hills here on the tee. Golf Digest 10th ranked public course in the nation. Charming overnight accommodations and championship golf experience. But of course, it is hosting the 2025 U.S. Women's Open Championship from May 28th through June 1st. We love it out there. The hospitality, second to none. They absolutely take care of you out there at Aaron Hills. Learn more at aaronhills.com. 3 different incidents of people letting out some frustration this week on the PGA Tour, Steven.
Throw the Valspar or Copperhead on the U.S. Open slate in years future. They'd had these guys a little heated.
I don't think it was a shank, but it was Hazel adjacent from Sahith.
Yeah.
Which led to, if you happen to miss that, Sahith dropped the club on the follow through. Then picked it up and two-hand tomahawk slammed it down. So we had that. We had, and now I'm forgetting who did this, but somebody just punted their putter.
Yeah, Patton Kazire.
Oh, it was Patton Kazire. Yes. Yeah, Patton Kazire. Just like literally punting like you would punt a football, like you see in the NFL every fall. No, this punted his putter.
Let me tell you something.
And it was a good punt, by the way.
If you haven't seen the video, I want to know the apex on how high his club got, because he caught it square in the center for that thing to go flying. Like, I feel like if you caught it a little too high on the handle, it maybe comes back and hits you, or if you catch it too low, probably wouldn't tickle. Kazire probably put that thing a good 20 feet in the air.
It was an impressive punt. Like, I didn't realize
due to back problems. Moments after he withdrew with a back injury.
And then finally on Adam Hadwin. I don't even remember what day this was that I saw Adam Hadwin just slam a wedge as he's walking off the green that set the entire sprinkler system off. He slams down his club and he snapped out of it really quick. Like, we've all been there. Like, you're frustrated, you do something, you snap out of it, and you're embarrassed. He did not know what to do. Like, because he hit the sprinkler and it set it off. So, like, the sprinkler came out of the ground and it's just shooting water everywhere. So he's trying to, like, tamp it down with his foot, trying to figure out how to get this thing go off. And he's just, oh, what do I do now?
I mean, the ultimate regret on his face of it, the best, like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Like, sit on it? Like, the water's just spraying all over the course.
It's just, And just to see, again, the look on his face is what made it the funniest to me. Is just,
yeah,
like just regret
and
embarrassment.
Did he know that the head was there, or did he just think he was slamming his club in the grass and he just got that unlucky that he caught that corner of a water sprinkler head?
I don't think he was trying, because I feel like if you hit the sprinkler, like, you could do damage, not just obviously to the club. But, like, if you hit that thing wrong, like, as you're slamming it down, you could do damage to your wrists.
Yeah.
You know, so my guess is that he was just wildly trying to slam it into the ground and didn't realize that the sprinkler head was there.
Yeah. He's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Like, truly didn't get hurt.
What's the most frustrated you've been?
I was just looking this up.
Okay.
So his wife, Jessica Hadwin.
Oh, she is fantastic on social media.
Incredible.
She is fantastic.
Like, loves nothing more than to roast her own husband on social media for all the shenanigans. You remember Adam Hadwin is the golfer who got tackled on the green at the RBC Canadian when Nick Taylor dropped that long putt.
63-foot
maybe the best
putt.
highlight of the entire PGA Tour season last year. But it was Hadwin who made all the highlights because he got literally drilled by a security guard who thought he was just a fan. Instead, he's Nick Taylor's best friend and there to celebrate on the green with him.
Running on with the champagne
but Jessica
bottle.
Hadwin,
form tackle, by the way.
Shortly after this video goes viral of Adam hitting the sprinkler, she tweets, "Through sickness and in health, amen." And it's a graphic that says 0 days since last incident. Find you a partner who's willing to roast you on social media for your shenanigans.
It keeps you humble.
Yeah.
Do you have an incident that you're willing to share of frustration on a golf course?
I mean, I've thrown my golf club plenty, right? I try to really not be that person on a golf course. You have seen me at some down times where I become a mute and I get frustrated. And, I really try to always focus on being good company, even when I'm not playing well. I had one Adam Hadwin moment. It didn't involve a sprinkler, but where I hit a drive and I kind of like threw my club along the ground like in frustration, and the top of my driver hit like the rock, which was the marker,
like the T marker,
and dented my driver, and I couldn't fix it, and that was a $400 mistake.
Yeah.
I have also, in a past life, in high school golf, learned the hard way not to hit your bag in frustration because I snapped the shaft of my driver after I smacked my bag with a iron, and it snapped the shaft on my driver.
I did that shortly out of college. I did that to my driver once and I didn't even think I hit my bag that hard. It was just kind of it just must have caught it right. And when I took my driver out on the next hole, he kind of put it in the ground because it was the tee box was up a little bit. And it's just, wait, where did the head of my driver go? After I put it down. But the one that I'm probably most embarrassed by when I was younger, either in high school or this might have been middle school, but the 6th hole at the golf course I grew up on, now known as Horicon Hills, back then it was Rock River Hills. The 6th hole is a par 3, and the back tee box is completely surrounded by marsh. So you've got cattails to your left, cattails behind you. Cattail, you got to carry kind of over the marsh to get to this par 3. And so 200-yard par 3. And at that point, I was hitting a 5-wood to try to get it there. And I topped it into the water, and things hadn't been going well. And I frustratingly threw the 5-wood, on the recoiled off the follow through and just let it go in the back. Yep. And I had a really good friend who you will meet, who is going to be my guest this year at the member guests for us at Wisconsin Country Club. Buddy of mine who was nice enough to wade into the marsh and go get my 5-wood for me.
Wow.
Because I was going to live with the embarrassment and just leave it there. That's my own stupid mistake.
He's a much nicer guy than me.
I don't deserve to have that club, and he went in there and got it for me.
Maybe because I know you're better than that, I would have made you walk in yourself.
Yeah. but yeah, that would.
He sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah, it was probably 7th, 8th grade, maybe freshman year of high school, something like that.
So you've been through some things together.
Yeah. So why not invite him to the member guest?
Well, I can't wait to see what you guys do after a couple of cocktails and a match play.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time, is what it's going to be. You can discover a hidden lakeside course in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin at Majestic Oaks. Tee off on a course with over 2 miles of lakefront where wide fairways and challenging greens await. This lakeside 18-hole course offers a golfing experience like no other. Join them for the best family golf nights in the state, where everyone can enjoy the game together and enjoy golf, cart, drinks, and snacks for under $25 per person. That's right, $25 per person. With several membership options, you can find the perfect fit for your lifestyle. If you're ready to play, book your tee time today. LakeLawnResort.com and play at Majestic Oaks Golf Course.
Forget about changing that dial. More On the Tee with Gabe and Steven next on 94.5 ESPN.
Can almost hear the grills coming out of hibernation.
Time to take off those covers, make those grocery lists, and oil that mitt. Opening day on ESPN Milwaukee is right around the corner. Sponsored by Carbliss, ready-to-drink cocktails. Tune in all day long on March 31st for Jen, Gabe, and Chewy live from the warning track at AmFam Field, and even catch the Brewers game right here on 94.5 ESPN starting at 1:10. It's opening day on ESPN Milwaukee, sponsored by Carbliss.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
I know. The NCAA tournament does not want the little guys around. I know. NIL, transfer portal, ego, greed, all of the above, leading to everybody saying the little guys make the NCAA tournament. You're not wrong, especially when it comes to the first weekend. But by the second weekend, you don't want too many of those interlopers around. Not saying that we're the problem. No. Upsets make the NCAA tournament the best sporting event around, especially any time of year with all the intrigue and all the possible upsets that could happen. But before we blame NIL and transfer portal keeping the little guys out, let's remember, the big guys didn't want the little guys around in the first place. And they usually get their wish by the second weekend. And you know what? So do you. Little guys are good to a point. Don't put that all in NIL and the transfer portal. In 60 seconds, rest in peace, Big George.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Boys, if you're seeing this, the unthinkable has happened.
Bubba's dead?
This is how your father's business works. The life of crime and the life of this deli.
You were born into this. Dad was a murderer. We could go to jail. We're innocent.
We'd be the first innocent brown people in jail. Oh, my God.
There's a gun in the credenza. Finish him off now.
What?
What part of this are you not understanding?
Credenza, if I'm being honest, I don't think I know what that is.
Deli Boys. All episodes are now streaming on Hulu.
When I found out about the death of former heavyweight champion and boxing Hall of Famer and ultimate pitchman, when it came to George Foreman, the first thing I said to myself was, that dude lived his life for 76 years. It's easy to say, well, Freddie, everybody lives their life. Not the way, according to George Foreman. Think about what he went through, being the biggest, baddest dude in the heavyweight division. We remember when he beat Joe Frazier and the late Howard Cosell going, down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier. And nobody thought Muhammad Ali had a chance of beating him. But he did with the rope-a-dope and the Thriller in Manila. George Foreman was able to overcome that and himself, and not only win the heavyweight championship again, but be the ultimate pitchman, which we never saw coming. We never thought that the big bad George Foreman would turn into lovable George Foreman as he was able to get out of boxing and then get back into boxing and be that. Rest in peace, Mr. George Foreman. You are going to be sorely missed. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
For it's On the Tee with Gabe Neitzel and Stephen Watson on 94.5 ESPN.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. So book your next tee time. Call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog. We'll be out there about a month's time or so, teeing it up for 100 holes for the MAC Fund. More details on that coming out shortly. But to wrap it up, one of the more interesting things that happened this golf offseason was the actual launch of TGL, the Indoor Golf Simulator League. 6 different teams. The finals actually going on right now. Began last night, continuing tonight in a best-of-3 series. What did you think of TGL? Because I was very curious, and it kept my attention, I would say, pretty much throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, I think my opinion on it kind of changed as it progressed. At first, I thought this was going to be the next big thing. This is the future. This is going to be the best way to learn about these guys, see their personalities, see golf in a different light. And the more I watched it, I just realized, you know what? This is just a great side piece.
Mm-hmm.
And not in a negative way. I found myself having something to watch on Monday and Tuesday nights in the off season, and I thought from a technology standpoint, it's been fantastic. I think that once they really start dialing up and figuring out the mic'd up players, like that's a lot on getting the best moments out of players. You're trusting these guys like we've seen in the match over the years. You're trusting guys who don't do this for a living to showcase a lot of personality on camera. And I think that what having them all, 6 of them at a time in a space, is making them a lot more comfortable. And I think for the viewer, there's enough celebrity surrounding it. There's enough interest from people outside of it, and watching different holes, and you just know it's not normal golf. And I think that's a good thing for people to understand and just be able to watch.
And I think for the most part, because of the shot clock, it goes fast enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're getting, they'll take a little bit more time around the greens and whatnot, but it's still, again, you only have 40 seconds. I mean, most of the time, I have to hit it this far? Okay. They grab the club, they walk up, they hit it, and it's not taking, even the majority of the 40 seconds that they've put up there for the shot clock. And because it does move so fast, you really only need probably 1 or 2 guys out to kind of show their personality. Like Billy Horschel, I think, has been really good throughout this whole thing.
Star.
He has bought into this very much, and he's showed off his personality. He's not afraid to, be the butt of a joke. He's not afraid to look foolish by doing the dirty bird when he came out the first time. But he's brought personality and he's brought energy, and that, I think, helps the product as well. It certainly helps Billy Horschel, makes him more likable.
Yeah, and it's refreshing that it's not just Tiger and Rory, which is how it started. It was like this was their league. They were the first couple of matches we saw, and now like their teams were terrible. And now you're seeing
the 2 teams that missed the playoffs were the founding teams.
Probably the most fun team was the Bay. And Shane Lowry, the way that his personality has taken off, he said that he hates simulator golf, but he loves this. And when I was calling the Cognizant for PGA Tour Live, one of the groups that I was following was Shane Lowry and Minwoo Lee together.
Oh.
And Lowry chipped in on back-to-back holes, and from TGL, Dr. Chapinski.
Yeah.
And so what does Lowry do? He chips in, looks at Minwoo Lee, and gives him the phone and says, paging Dr. Chapinski. And they're taking it to the course, and they're having fun, and you can see that it is actually genuine. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like something that is just made for entertainment. I think these guys, because the technology is right, and the viewing experience is so different from what they do from Thursday to Sunday, I think that they're buying into it.
And that's what you need. If the players did not buy into it and they were kind of feeling like it was a slog as the season wore on, then I think you would feel that. But because they have bought in, that's what makes it. And I never thought that this was going to be the next big thing, because ultimately it's still dudes swinging golf clubs, hitting a golf ball, even though it's into a screen. So if you don't like golf, you're not going to like this.
But the technology is really good.
The technology is really good. And the green behind it is pretty crazy, and the way they're able to rotate it and do all these different things. So I think it's sustainable. I don't think it's going to surpass the PGA Tour in ratings and that in any time soon, right? But it is a good. It's a fun way to pass a Monday or a Tuesday night if you're not a big college basketball fan and your team's playing Wednesday, and you can just see what the golf looks like on a Monday night at 7:00.
But you think about this time last year, Gabe, it was after they had the terrible hurricane that ruined the building. We didn't know if this league was even going to happen. All we were thinking about in excitement for the league was we're going to get to see Tiger swing again. And now you think about where it is right now, it's grown a lot.
And I don't mean to laugh because the hurricane was very serious. Yeah. But I don't know what the hell that thing was. Whatever their temporary building was. To go from whatever that was to what this is now, I think has been a lot of fun. I think it's a good thing. Can't wait for season 2 of TGL. NBA coverage joining in progress. Coming up next. This is Ben on the tee.
Hey, golf enthusiasts. Discover a hidden lakeside course